Hey everybody, this is Mike Vandervoort from the Human Racehorses blog. I wanted to try out something a little different today. I'm shooting this on my iPad and I'm going to do a dramatic reading, sort of. Not that dramatic and probably not that much of a reading, but more like an interpretation of my latest blog post, which was originally titled Management Lessons from the Alien Film, the Science Fiction World of HR. But one of our colleagues, Crystal Miller, actually came up with what I thought was a better title. So it's been renamed in the sequel, sort of, as The Alien World of Work, or Management Lessons from the Film Alien. So here's how it goes. Work can be a horror story, especially in the world of Ridley Scott and his film Alien, which was first made, I believe, in 1979. I'm a huge science fiction fan. I saw Men in Black. I'm really looking forward to seeing Prometheus, the new film that Ridley Scott put out, which is set in the same universe as the Alien series that starred Sigourney Weaver, but is actually a prequel to that film. Alien also had a few other, somewhat other famous people, Yaphet Kotto and Lance Henriksen and a bunch of others. It also had a cast of thousands of unnamed, incredibly vicious, acid blood dripping, shape-morphing aliens who tended to hunt down and implant their eggs in the bodies of the slowest running human being that they could catch, which were many of them kind of very often. So they were not fun. These were not warm and cuddly aliens like from the Ewoks from Star Wars. To get ready for Prometheus and seeing it next week with my wife, Kyle, I'm watching some of the original movies just for about the billionth time. And even though I've seen them a bunch of times, it was only today, which actually was yesterday, that I realized that there are some really good management lessons in these films. Here's a list that I put together, hopefully with some laughs behind it, about the common traits from the film Alien that were exhibited by the employees of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. And this would really be the crew of the spaceship Nostromo, which was the setting of the first Alien film. They're flying through outer space at the edge of the galaxy in their order to land on a planet and conduct an investigation of some mysterious signal, and things go to hell from there. So basically, here's the thoughts that I had, or what I learned from watching the Alien film about work. Number one, most employees apparently will do anything to get out of the office, including being stuffed into a small freezer chest and frozen like a pack of Oscar Mayer wieners and then flown to the outer reaches of the Milky Way, only to face imminent, impending, looming death at the hands of aliens. They don't even get iPods. There's no Muzak, no piped-in music, no video, no phones. My thought is that the office environment at Weyland-Yutani must really suck. So that's number one. Number two, most of the employees that Weyland-Yutani hires apparently are not assessed very well because they have very low quotient for following orders. They wander off throughout the movie. They keep getting killed. The aliens waste them about once every 5 to 10 minutes. And my thought is this makes succession planning a very complicated process. Must be a real bitch for the managers back home. Speaking of the bosses, it's very clear throughout the movie that the bosses at Weyland-Yutani are all gutless, greedy bastards, only interested in their bonuses and advancing their profit margins by finding new product development in the form of outer space alien DNA, which they try desperately to get back. Going back to the employees in outer space, they're in real trouble. There's no OSHA in outer space. Nobody seems to have a union steward around that they can complain to about the bad working conditions. And there's nothing on site that remotely resembles any form of risk management or safety officer, which means that they face some real issues, but also that they have to have kind of a flexible work life and, in fact, a very flexible dress code that includes allowing people to tote bullet belts on their chest, guns, large wrenches to club things to death with. And in fact, Weyland-Yutani is very progressive in this mode in that they show a great willingness to embrace a flexible dress code that sort of resembles the grimy, sweaty look first put together by Sylvester Stallone in the Rambo films. This is a futuristic version of that, and it's kind of cool. Lot different than Casual Friday or Biz Casual. Communications. In space, the slogan of the movie was, "In space, no one can hear you scream," which really means that they can't hear you talk, and they really can't do much of anything to reach out. They don't really try. But communication inside the workplace at Weyland-Yutani, at least on the spaceship Nostromo, is very bad, since all the employees do is scream and swear and flee in terror and basically die. So big problems with communications. There are a lot more flamethrowers. This is tools and working sort of the working office space. There are a lot more flamethrowers in space than fire extinguishers, and this actually turns out to be a good thing in the alien world because they need them to fight off the aliens somewhat unsuccessfully. All the guy employees in the offices are cowards, schemers, or liars. The only guy that you can seem to trust at all is Ash, and he turns out to not even be a real man. He's a cyborg dude, kind of with a double agenda, but in the end, after he's been cut in half and is bleeding white gunk from his cyborg body all over a platform, he does at the very end pull Ripley up from her dangling, life-endangering, threatening spot that she was hanging from a large platform with a long fall below her. So he saves her in the end. And the last piece, because this has gone longer than I hoped, is that female employees in the movie generally, and there's a series of 4 starring Sigourney Weaver as Ripley and some other women around her. Generally, these female employees all kick ass and take names. And it occurred to me as I was watching the film and writing this that it sounds a lot like a lot of the women that I know who work in HR and a lot of the guys. And I'll just close by saying that we should all, in HR, we should all feel free to unleash our inner Ripley and kick ass and take some names. Thanks. Thanks for looking at this experiment.